A city based on industry, from market stalls to collieries, owners, directors and entrepreneurs. Oh, we've got all that and more. No matter how high you fly, no matter how far you go, the spotlight's on you and we call Wrexham home.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Wrexham Business Spotlight podcast. As always, this is a podcast where we meet a Wrexham business owner and we get to learn more about their journey. I'm Adrian from AB Accountancy, and this week I'm joined by Jade Garston from Welsh Witch Crafts. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Spirits.
Welsh Witch Craft Spirits, I do apologise.
Sorry.
Jade, tell us what we need to know about you and about your business.
Yes, my name's Jade and I'm from Brumbo in Wrexham, and I launched Welsh Witch Craft Spirits literally just before the pandemic. So I had my first batch of gin in December 2019. So I had lots of plans with it for 2020, but obviously with the pandemic hitting, that changed like the business model, I suppose. I wanted to do a lot of markets with it and events, but obviously everything like that was cancelled. In 2019 I launched Welsh Witch. I did use a contract distiller at the time. I wanted to go down this route because I still have a mobile bar that is all Prosecco, so it's pop-up Prosecco. And we just did quite a large wedding, and their theme was gin, and at the time gin was like massively on the rise anyway. And I was like, I'll just make my own gin, my own vodka, all house spirits just for the bar, so I can capitalise on it all and build this brand and whatever. I used an amazing designer who is actually a local guy as well. He wasn't actually living around here at the time, but it was still nice to use someone local as well. He took the vision of Welsh Witch's brand and ran with it, so it was far better than I could ever imagine. So when I got my labels and things, and obviously the pandemic hit at the same time, I realised I had to change direction. It was selling online and it was selling kind of locally. People were just buying just to support at the start. But it won an award in its first year London Spirits competition. And then I launched a spice rum, so I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to do lots of gins variants. I wanted to change up the spirit I was doing. So I did a spice rum in April 2020. Which has also won a few awards. Actually, it hasn't won a few awards, it's just won a gold award.
We'll win a few awards.
Yeah, we'll win a few awards. And then 2021, I was turning 30, and I launched a Beltane edition of a gin. So I wanted to make a pink gin variant because that was huge at the time, and I was struggling to get people to drink a good, refreshing London dry gin, or actually I should say Welsh gin. So I diversified and went into the pink gin market, and it was only going to be limited edition, but I sold out, and that's how the Wheel of the Year collection was born.
Okay. What's the Wheel of the Year collection?
So I would say it's one of the USPs for Welsh Witch. The Wheel of the Year is a pagan calendar or a Celtic calendar, which celebrates the seasons as opposed to the month. So it would celebrate the summer solstice, the autumn equinox, Yuletide. So it's all what we already know, but it's been kind of commercialised since. So Beltane is celebrated on the 1st of May, and it celebrates the beginning of summer. So it's not quite summer yet, but it's all and it's fertility. The focal points of it is a cauldron, a Welsh goddess, and all the rest of it. But it being celebrated on the 1st of May is actually my birthday, so which is why I did it that way. And then, like I say, it was the following year I started to fill the Wheel of the Year. So I now have 10 SKUs and 8 of them fit the Wheel of the Year. So each season or Sabbath is inspired by that Sabbath, if that makes sense. So whatever ingredients.
So do you release a unique gin at different times of the year to fit that?
Yeah, so I have now these 10. So I've got 5 gins, 1 vodka and 4 rums. So apart from the original gin and the original rum, they all fit in that wheel of the year. So, for example, Mabon, which is like September time, is apples are harvested. So I went with a roasted apple rum. So that's kind of like an apple pie because it's still spiced, but it's lightly spiced. Halloween is our commercial holiday, but it's Samhain for the pagans, witches, and whatever. So I had to go for the pumpkin with that, which gives it a more savoury flavour, but it's pears are in abundance on my tree in the garden, so I use that. So it's all, every season, every gin or rum or whatever I've used is inspired by each Sabbath, so the history behind it all.
Okay. Do you do any sort of members club where people can sign up to get all of them at the right time when they come out?
No, so now they've all been launched, they're available all year round. So what I am trying to do, I'd love to do a members club, but I just haven't figured out yet what incentives there would be for that. But what I do find a positive with that is if I'm trying to get into retailers or pubs or anything, they're not going to always take the 10 lines that I have. So they pick like maybe the original and the original rum, and then they could, if they're happy to stay with me and build that relationship, they could then have the seasonality products. So like Toast in Wrexham, they stick with like a core range. So they have vodka, gin, rum, and then they change out their flavoured gin or their flavoured rum depending on what time of year we're in.
So I'm quite interested in how you got into the spirits market, because you said you were teaching originally.
I know.
Is this just a lifelong hobby that's become a business?
Yeah, probably have, I think so. So I was just doing Prosecco, like I say. I love events, so that's how I got into Prosecco in the first place. So we planned our own wedding, so that was all Glastonbury in a tent. So that's how I got into events in the first place. I've done quite a few charity events which have been quite successful in the past, and I just love doing it. So that's how I got into the Prosecco side of things. We then did that wedding, which got me thinking I'll just make the spirits for it.
Yeah.
So
and when you say make
really.
the spirits, are you physically making them yourself, or are you outsourcing that?
No. So originally, when I first started, I did have a distillery contract distill the first batch. That was more to do with, I thought it was going to be more difficult to set up myself.
Well, that's my next question, actually. How do you go about making a gin, for example?
So without
giving away your trade secrets.
Yeah, it's actually not. It's not rocket science, and it is really exciting to do. So at the moment, I buy in raw alcohol, so just neutral alcohol, and then we distill it with all the botanicals. We then cut it with Welsh water. It's distilled with 2 litres of moon charge water because I use the moon cycles. I work with the moon cycles, I should say. So I've then implemented that into work. And then it's left to mature for a whole moon cycle, which is 28 days. So I do have to sit on stock, so sometimes I'm a little bit slow getting things out.
How long does it actually take you, aside from the 28 days? Yeah, how long would a batch take?
Just a day. So if I've only got small stills at the moment. I have got a bigger still, but it doesn't fit in the distillery at the moment through the door. So I'm still using my small stills. So it takes about 6 to 8 hours, start to finish.
You do this at home, or you got a unit somewhere?
No, I've got a unit in Brumbo. Yeah. It's actually part of the old steelworks site there.
Okay.
It was the Theory Centre, and that's having quite a lot of press around it at the minute, because obviously that's going to be a World Heritage Centre, so it's nice to have that link. And as much as I know everything's going on in Wrexham, I do kind of like being in
Stick
Brumbo.
to your Brumbo roots a little bit.
I do, yeah. That's where this story sort of was born as well, so yeah, I want to stick to my roots. But yeah, like I say, so the contract distilling, I got my first batch in December 2019, and by November 2020 I'd set up a micro distillery in the village.
Okay.
And learnt the trade.
And you've got quite unique bottles as well, haven't you? Have they been produced somewhere for you?
No, they caused me some problems though on times. Being square, there's not many. Everything has to be done by hand because they're square. So a lot of round bottles, you can have like a semi-automatic label applicator. But no, unfortunately, they get shipped in from Italy. I use a Glaswegian company. I didn't realise they were from Italy, the start until Brexit, and then it caused lots of problems getting the bottles here, which is when I discovered that they were just sort of like a middleman, but no one else does them, and they're so expensive to be produced how you want to get that mould that I need to.
But that was a bottle you particularly wanted, was it?
Yeah, and I because it's like an apothecary style, it was a little bit different, and I get a lot of comments on the bottle. And
it stands out from just looking like a ready mill national, gin company that we won't mention on here because they're probably your competitors. So where do you sort of sell from? You're in pubs, off licenses, shops, local venues?
I'm slowly building relationships with people. I'm trying to get into more establishments. I'm trying to build relationships in Wrexham specifically because there's many that know about me, I don't think, or we just don't work together, I'm not sure. So I am going to try and hit Wrexham a bit more, but we'll see with that. I've got 2 distributors who are brilliant to work with. They're both a bit more north though, so there's Blas Void in Llanrwst and Story Beers in Bala. They're brilliant. So they actually distribute on my behalf, so I'm not always sure where it goes.
So is that for postal orders primarily?
No, that's for so they'll sell like little wholesalers and then they sell to the trade. So they'll sell to pubs, delis, shops and things. So I actually don't know everywhere that I'm in. I have to just kind of find it out for myself, and which I quite like. It's a little surprise. But I have like Tea Coch in Morven, so they've had best beach bar in the world at one stage. They take a lot off me, but they're very much promoting Welsh product, and they want to get rid of, because they're in a prime location to be able to do that.
Locally, we've had Rich from Wrexham Coffee Company come on the podcast.
Yes.
So he's probably on a very similar journey to you, and he talked about knocking on doors of coffee shops and restaurants locally and trying to build a relationship with those owners and get them in. Is that something you're doing as well?
I'm going to start doing. I did at the start, but obviously everything closed again, didn't it, during lockdown. And then there's been a few like natural, organic. I haven't gone in with a hard sell, I'll say, but I'm going to start, I think, locally especially.
So what's the biggest challenges you face then to try and run this business and grow this business?
If I was honest, capital. I genuinely am on a shoestring doing this. So everything I make goes back into it. But it isn't easy because like I have some of my customers, if they're not postal orders, they are on payment terms. So they're just a bit slower at paying, whereas when I buy things to make this product, everything's pro forma, so I have to pay up front. So it's kind of
that's what us accountants call a cash flow cycle.
Yeah,
and a lot of new businesses will fall foul of it. But you've got to buy stuff, and people won't give you terms because you're new and unknown.
Yeah.
And yet you've got to sell out to bigger retailers with
it's really difficult
30
to balance.
days, for example.
Yeah, really difficult to balance.
And you can get to a situation where you can overtrade.
Yes.
You can buy too much stock and you're not bringing in. And
it is very much hand to mouth, but because the orders are coming in quicker than I'm getting paid from certain customers, but they're not like not paying me on time. It's just that their payment terms are just a bit longer. Yeah, but I'm very, very, very lucky that I work with. Maybe it's because I'm a witch. I attract people to work with me, and who I've got on board now. They are really. I'm so grateful for everything that they do and the help that they give me, and it's basically because they're emotionally invested in the business and the brand more than anything. So I am very lucky.
This episode of the Wrexham Business Spotlight podcast is kindly sponsored by AB Accountancy, a leading local firm with offices in both Wrexham and Llangollen, passionate about supporting you and your business with their finances and tax. If you want to get in touch with AB Accountancy, there's a link to their website in this episode description. One thing I've wondered if it was a challenge for you, and you might say it isn't, but we've had lots of people on this podcast who talk about how the takeover of the football club and Ryan and Rob has had such a positive impact on their business, which is great. The downside of that for you is that brought Aviation Gin quite into our into our minds and into our pubs, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Has that had an impact on you? Or?
No, I think it's genuinely. I think it's amazing for the town, and it's absolutely, yeah, it is amazing for the town. I was a little bit like, oh no, at the start, because he's like a multi-million-pound huge gin
He's not struggling
company.
for capital, is he?
No, not at all. Kind of steamrolled into Wrexham, and I was like, oh no, like I'm literally not going to be able to like get myself out there now, because I remember they were sending like cases of it to the local pubs, yeah. And I was like, well, there's no way I can do anything like that. And I'm not really in a position to give away too much stock if that person isn't a little bit invested, because they just forget about you, don't they, once you've given that samples. I'm quite a positive person anyway, so you have to see the good in everything. And I just think aviation gin is a when I say standard gin, I mean there's no flavour to it, which was a big thing at the time. He has brought gin to people's minds, I suppose. You know, like people were drinking it because it was him, who maybe never have drank gin before. So, and they might have thought, oh, actually, I like it. So I think it's been a positive thing, really. It certainly hasn't been not positive.
And I do think there's a big movement in Wrexham to sort of use local products, and I'm sure you benefit from that.
So I work with, and probably a lot of other producers in Wrexham work with, a company who are funded by the Welsh Government called Coine. So we have a mentor for like North East Wales, and there'll be mentors all over Wales. They're massively helpful as well. So there's working with them, you know how many food producers and drink producers there are, and I sometimes don't think that people don't know about them. So it's trying to get in front of people to let these people know that there is so many great producers just in Wrexham, never mind Wales. I know they were trying to get into the actual stadium to see if they would, because there's guys that do like rapeseed oil and vinegars and all this kind of thing, so it's like just using it in the products in the Wrexham football ground, because it's then promoting actual Welsh produce, Wrexham produce actually, not just Welsh produce. Yeah,
and I've seen your gins in sort of local businesses.
Have you?
And I've been around town as well.
Where? Do you want to tell me? No, I do know a few places that they're in, but just not all of them. And the other challenge is I'm a mum to a 2-year-old, and that's really hard to manage.
Keep you busy when you should be just in the gym.
Yeah, so it's a half term this week, so she's not actually in school, but she goes to nursery during half term. And having her off is amazing because we're like best friends, but it is definitely hard to manage because childcare is so expensive. So I don't know how people do it, but it is it's hard to manage.
So that's the biggest challenge you're facing.
Yeah.
Balancing being a mother and a business.
Yeah, because I she's my baby, but this is also my baby in a different way, and I love spending time with her, but I do love the job. But then that's the beauty of, I think, as well, being self-employed is I get to spend that quality time with her, and she can get to come to work with me, and we've got the freedom to do a lot. So I am very grateful for the position, and obviously to my husband and my parents who support us as a family as well. I'm very, very grateful.
Yeah. So I think you mentioned USP before, and you also sort of Welsh heritage and sort of pagan rituals. Does that help you, or will that hinder you in any ways from becoming mass market, do you think? Or?
No, I think it sometimes would put off men being Welsh Witch. I think it's got quite a female forward brand, I think, but I do sell to a lot of men. A lot of men love the product as well. The pagan side of it, I've definitely built a community, or it's building a community around that anyway. So no, I don't. I actually think so. I've got USPs like on the websites. When we blog in, we like to talk about Welsh, like Welsh language and how, and like Welsh oppression. So we try to educate people in the Welsh side of things. Just nothing boring, nothing long, nothing like too lengthy to read, but just to give people an insight to the Welsh and then the witch side of things, which is holistic way of living. So that's like the Welsh Witch side. We've got the calendar, which we talk about, the Wheel of the Year, working with the moon cycles, but then we explain that in blogs so people can get more of an insight to that side of things. But
so are you kind of seeing two distinct markets you can tap
Yeah.
into, that you can sell all over Wales and people see it as a Welsh witch, but you can also sell it pagan festivals all over the UK, the world even.
It's I don't know how true it is, but I was at a guided meditation last week, and they were talking about this incident that happened as like a spiritual incident, but they were saying that UK are leading in spirituality because it's illegal in some countries.
Right, okay.
So whilst I'm not trying to be on trend because this is an authentic brand to myself, it is also people are starting to get into a more spiritual way of life, I think, especially after lockdown.
Via the love of alcohol.
Yes.
So what are your future plans? Are you going to try and grow this business? And
Yeah, definitely. I'd definitely like to have a HQ that people could visit.
okay, so somewhere sort of in town maybe, or
No, I think I'd still want HQ to be in Brumbo, because where I am now has got a car park, and there's a couple of buildings that could possibly potentially be, somewhere that I could go. I do also like the fact that we've got in Brumbo this World Heritage site that I could link up with. I did look at a property in Wrexham, only a small one, just to have like tastings and just have like an intimate bar, or again all Welsh produce, but they decided that they didn't want like that sort of thing to go there. So if I was coming to Wrexham, it would have to be the right fit.
yeah.
But I'm not opposed to Wrexham either. So I would like a HQ where you can come and visit the distillery. Again, tastings.
So people will be able to see the product being distilled, and there'll also be a shop in there. And
it's a huge thing.
Something telling the story of the products.
Yeah. A lot of other distilleries do it, but they're normally bigger than what I am. And export is a big thing for me at the minute. I get a lot of interest from overseas. I don't know if it's the Wrexham link, I don't know if it's the Welsh link or the witchy side of it. But I'm in talks with export to the USA at the moment. Again, I don't know how long that will take or if it'll ever happen, but I would like to. There's loads of things
would that
I'd
be?
like to
Would
do.
you be dealing with specific retailers, or would you have like a distributor over there?
Yeah, so over there it works. You get an importer, so someone will import that for you, and then they then distribute it. I don't know how it would work. I need to, again, it's still very early days with that. I need to speak to them on how they would market it out there, rather than just taking product.
Yeah.
I want this importer to be invested in it, to know where to sort of push it. There's a bar in New York that want to take it, they're ready to go, it's just that we're not ready to go. America's a really tough market to get into, and I don't know if it's because it's states, and every state's got their own rules and regulations.
And different tax rules in different states, don't they?
Yeah, so that's why it'd be better with just an importer, and then that importer deals with everything that side.
He'll just tell you I need X amount of bottles of that. And
yeah, but it's definitely somewhere I would like to. I think export is something I need to look into, delve further into for sure.
And worldwide, are there certain countries that are sort of stronger linked to pagan festivals and that side of it?
America's got a good link. I'd like to get into the Scandi countries, but then there's other countries that are hugely on the rise with spirits in Asia that you just would never think. So like India, the Japanese, China market, they're all huge into spirit because I think they're going into spirit as well, or have gone into spirit. So vodka is another thing that's back on the rise, so I need to push my vodka a bit more. So I think that I've got enough sort of to dip my toes into the other markets. I'd love to get into festivals, but it's really difficult to get in.
It sounds perfect for festivals, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd love to get in. I'd love to get into Hyde Park when Stevie Nicks is there in July. And I'd love to do the cans, like where you could get ready mixed cans for that sort of event. But I'm not willing to I can't go down that route until I've got like an order for it.
A little bit chicken and egg, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's where I'm always kind of facing, is because I haven't got like the capital to try different things, if that makes sense. But again, I work with amazing people, so even if they can kind of make a prototype visually that I could test the water with, I don't know. But like I say, being a mum, it's not the mum side of things, but I just don't have the time to because I'm admin, marketing, distiller, seller, everything.
Every possible hat.
Yeah,
sits on
I
your
literally
head.
wear every hat.
Something every business owner watching will be familiar with.
Yeah, exactly.
And how quickly you need to learn skills, become good at skills, isn't it?
Yeah, there's some really not good strong points.
So there's some ambitious plans there of what you want to do.
Yeah.
Have you thought about what infrastructure-wise your business would have to look at to fulfil all them? At the moment, it's you doing it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the other thing. That's another challenge I face is I need people, probably need manpower, but I don't have. Speaking honestly, I don't have enough money to pay these people, and I'd love to employ people to have like a little run it. I just can't. So I have got someone now who. She is originally from the village, and she moved away a long time ago. But again, she's got she's emotionally attached to Brumbo, and because it was a thriving village years ago until I was born. Actually, I think the steelworks closed 89 or 90. So since then, it's sort of been on a bit of a decline. So she wants to just get involved in the business a little bit, and she's got a really good. Knowledge and expertise in her areas, which I can utilise in mine. So she came up to see the distillery a couple of weeks ago, and she was saying if you give me this, this, and this, I can work out how we grow by 10% in next month. So she knows what that's going to cost and when I would need to bring in another person or more stock or that sort of thing. So I'm learning a lot from her as well. So at the moment,
is it a non-negotiable that you'll always distill your own, or if you got to a certain size, do you think that would have to be outsourced?
I'm quite keen and eager to keep it in the village, just because there are brands out there that are sort of selling themselves on, being Welsh, and they're not. So I don't want to be one of them people. However, whilst I'm so small, it might have to be something I consider in the interim of that infrastructure situation, because at the moment the cash flow situation is, like I say, hand to mouth, because I pay for everything up front. If I get my unit bonded, that means I just pay for the alcohol and don't pay the duty.
What does that mean? What's the unit bonded
So
mean?
if at the moment I buy my alcohol in and pay the duty on it up front, if I go bonded, which again causes a lot more work, I can then buy alcohol in, but I get the duty suspended, so I don't pay duty on it until I sell it. So I could have 1,000 litres of alcohol in stock, and until I actually bottle it and sell it, I don't have to pay the duty on it.
Right, okay.
The duty is what costs so much, whereas at the minute I'm buying it up front, so it's until it's kind of it would make it cash flow a bit easier.
Is that something you can achieve at a certain growth stage? You've got to be a certain size.
The only reason I haven't the only reason I haven't done it is because I wasn't sure if I was staying at the unit I was in, if I was going to buy somewhere. I was just unsure, and I thought I don't really. They're quite funny about where this bonded warehouse goes, because it's obviously high value. And they obviously don't want anyone to pinch it, and it's at a high volume of alcohol, ABV as well, so they don't like it just to be just anywhere in your back garden. So I
don't want kids breaking into your unit and having a field day.
Yeah, and you're just leaving it unlocked or whatever, because I am in a shared unit. So it's basically just because I wasn't sure where I was going, and again there's more paperwork involved, and I until Aurora at least starts school, I need to kind of just stay as I am, I think. I don't want to get ahead of myself too much, but if anything comes in from America in the meantime, maybe I'd have to use a contract distiller just to fulfill an order, because it needs to be bonded, because they buy it without duty and they pay it over there.
Right.
So that's something I actually cannot do at the moment, because I buy my alcohol with duty.
I guess this has been quite a steep learning curve, has it?
Yeah, quite. And then obviously with the bigger you want to go, so working with bigger retailers, it's all a safety thing, which I'm all for as well. They require certain accreditation, which I am working towards. But again, having minimal time to do that sort of thing, it's so detailed. It's very, like, some people actually employ somebody to just do that accreditation for their distillery. So I'd have to do that as well. So it's just, again, managing it really. So if I had an order from Marks and Spencer's, they probably would require me to have that accreditation. That's something a contract distiller could probably do until I get my accreditation. So it's not off the table, but as it stands, I don't need anyone else to do it at the minute.
Are you limited by how much you can physically produce in your equipment as well?
Yeah. So again, I bought a still, which is just gathering dust in the reception, because it doesn't fit through the door, and I at the minute I can't take the door out and things. We'll figure it out. But I literally just use 5 or 6 25 litre stills. They're tiny, but they still produce really good product. So I am a bit sceptical about changing, because it's not literally just about, like, so I'm making it in 25 litres right now. If I go to a 500 litre, it's not just times in it.
No, I'd heard that from other people, that it completely changes your quantities and your mixes.
Yeah, so you think that
and you can never get the product quite the same when they go big scale.
So I am, and because literally nearly all my products are award winning, and everyone gives me really good feedback, compliments, I just think, I don't really want to mess with it either, because it is producing good stuff.
So you can have a hell of a lot of 25 litre stills knocking around.
The thing is, it's labour intensive then, isn't it, as well? And instead of just making one big batch, but I do have different flavoured gins, so I've got to keep them different. I could just use the big one, I suppose, to make my original signature gin.
Yeah.
For now.
Right, so what's a success look like for you? If you could envisage where you're going to be in 10 years' time or so?
Honestly, again, like, as long as, like, me and my family are comfortable and, like, just not struggling, that is success to me. However, where does success end? I don't know, because I know that you just want to keep going and going with it. So I'd like to be fulfilled in what I've told you in terms of export and having a HQ, maybe even
staying true to your values along with it all seems to be quite important to you. Yeah,
it does, because the brand is authentic. I am authentic to that. So yeah, I would like to achieve what I have said and be recognised. I'm not sure I'm not saying I would say no, but at this moment I don't know if I'd want to be mass market. I'd like to be in independent retailers that maybe have a few outlets. But I know that the big supermarkets and things, people see that as success, whereas what they don't see is that they've cut your margins, that you've got to do all the marketing for them. It's difficult, and I don't like it. If Marks and Spencer turned around to me today and said, "Can I have an order for 100,000?" I wouldn't even be able to. Where would I even start? So they want volume. They want it really low margin, and I don't know if I could do that. I don't know. I don't know. And it's not the holy grail for me. Whereas I think consumers would think, "Oh my God, she's in Asda. That's amazing." It doesn't always mean it's.
You've sacrificed things to get there, haven't you? To get to Asda.
Yeah, and I don't think people realise the graft that you like. Look at some of the I don't want to say cheaper supermarkets, but some own branded supermarkets make gin for £12-13. They're probably thinking, well, why is yours so expensive? Because they're probably making a loss. It drives people to the supermarket to get them in there. They'll even break even or make a loss on them gins.
There's also a danger at that point that if you tie yourself into Asda, for example, that they become too big. They're too big of a customer, they're too demanding, and there's sort of a rule that no one customer should be more than 10% of your sales.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Because they can just sort of dominate too much.
Yeah. It's not
and
always...
they're driving your margins down and...
I don't think I'd make any more money just because I had a 100,000 bottle order, because I know that I'd probably be making 50p a pound on them, if that, just just to be credible to people. And I don't.
No.
I don't.
Right, if someone was starting a business in your industry or in any other industry and they asked you for one piece of advice, what's the most important thing you've learned on your journey?
I'm definitely winging it, so you don't have to have all the answers now. And it sounds a little bit cliche, but I would honestly just say if you can feel it, I think you should just do it. I also am a big believer in manifesting, so I do believe that you can reach your goals and achieve what you want to achieve if you really believe and visualise that. If you want it, I think. But like I say, I'm still winging it now, so the answer's
I think we're all winging it.
Yeah.
Winging it is probably a negative term, but it's more that business just throws you different challenges all the time, and you've got to learn how to deal with it.
Yeah.
There's nobody you can just. There's no boss you can just pass the plate up to. So.
And you just got to deal with it, and like you say, the challenges, and then learning skills that you don't have or didn't think you had. And
like
sometimes,
podcasting.
Yeah, like podcasting. But then I do sometimes think that you need the right people around you as well to give you that support. I don't think you need people around saying, oh, like being negative about it. They need to be supportive, and you do have to think about the challenges or what you might face, and it isn't easy. It isn't an easy route to take, I don't think, because it's ruthless sometimes as well, and because I don't think I am that business minded really. I actually don't. I wouldn't see myself as business minded because I'm saying that is all business people ruthless. I don't know.
Seems to be doing all right so far.
Nah, I think.
Right, so we always finish by saying that we've had the spotlight on you for this episode, and we want you to return the favour and shine it onto another local business.
Okay.
Anyone come to mind that deserves a bit of praise?
Yeah, so there's a lot of businesses in Wrexham that I would shout about, but I would probably have to say Toast Cafe and Deli on Charles Street. They are not only these, I've got other supporters, but I think a few have been on here anyway. They're very supportive for our brand from the very beginning as well, and we work together doing tastings. So yeah, I think Toast. I think if she's going to be coming on here as well, or they would come on here. They're doing a lot of good things for the town. So
it's Toast Cafe and Deli on Charles Street.
Yes.
Go check them out.
Yes.
So Jade, thanks so much for coming on. It's been really interesting. I've seen your products around for quite a while now, so yeah, we were quite keen to get you on and find out more about what's happening.
Yeah. Diolch yn fawr.
Diolch yn fawr.
A city based on industry, from market stalls to collieries, owners, directors and entrepreneurs. Oh, we've got all that and more. No matter how high you fly, no matter how far you go, the spotlight's on you and we call Wrexham home.